we're going to talk about your man Bojan. He's back.
Get it right, Bojan. Bojan is back. Made his debut last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers, one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Had 22 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, or just 2 rebounds. 2 rebounds and 1 assist. Shot 3 for 10 from the three-point line and 47% from the field in 27 minutes and 27 seconds. He looked great. We all kind of thought it was the missing piece to this team, but there's so many missing pieces to this team. But anyways, Bojan, heck of a debut. I think at least the Pistons are going to be more entertaining with another 20-point scorer on the roster. But what did you think about his debut last night?
I guess he was waiting for me to attend a Piston game to even suit up. But I thought the offense was flowing. They have a floor spacer out there. You could really tell the difference. And not only that, a veteran out there. There was a couple instances, I don't know if they showed it on TV, where Bojan was literally taking Cade Cunningham and Asar Thompson aside after a timeout or during the timeout, and just coaching them up during the timeout. So I think his presence was really missed on the court with his playmaking ability, his ability to score the basketball, and just being a vet that these young kids can lean on.
I agree with that. I agree. There's not really much more to say about his debut. I mean, I guess my only thought was during the game when I watched him play was he didn't start. I think he's going to be the starter.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, with the lineup we saw last night, we'll get into this in a minute, that lineup with those 3 guards pushed Asar Thompson to the bench. And I think Bojan, when he really gets into the rhythm of things, he's going to be the starter, and we're probably going to see Isaiah Stewart, because I don't even know if – I want to look this up because I don't think Marvin Bagley and James Wiseman really got any minutes last night, if at all. I mean, I think James Wiseman did not play, but I do not recall seeing Marvin Bagley on the court last night. But either way, I just think Bojan, now that he's healthy, he moves Isaiah Stewart to the bench. But what do you think about that? Do you think Isaiah Stewart will be a bench player now with Bojan returning?
I know we had talked about it last week, whose spot is he going to take, Asar or Isaiah Stewart. But I think last game, the only reason why we saw, Bojan not start, or did he start?
No, he came off the bench.
Yeah, I thought he came off the bench. I think the only reason why was because it's the Cavs, and they're just an incredibly big team with Mobley and Allen out there. I think that's the only reason why, but I think they'll slowly try to get him into the starting lineup. Monty said he would try to restrict his minutes, but I think I looked and he played close to 30 minutes coming back after missing so much time. But I get it, the game was kind of close, but I didn't really think too much of the starting lineup because of his comments pregame saying hey, it's because we're playing the Cavs. Maybe it'll be different when they're playing the Grizzlies, where you have Bojan maybe at your power forward and you have Asar at your small forward, because I think that's the lineup you have to go with. I like Isaiah Stewart a lot, but he's such a spot-up shooter that if you run him off that three-point line, his decision-making and the way he processes the game, it's just not there sometimes, and he turns the ball over, and that's okay. I don't expect him to be a guy that can, put the ball on the floor, because that's not really his game. I think that's the next step of evolution for him, is to be a player to, they run you off that three-point line, pass the ball, or try to put it on the floor, but I just don't think it's there right now. I think he's better as a bench player, like you've been mentioning for, it seems like a year.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much since we started. I think it was the first thing I ever said on this podcast was move Isaiah Stewart to the bench. Remember a couple of months ago when he said, I've always been a power forward? I think he's honestly more of a center. I've said this before, I think he's way better in 22 minutes per game than, 28, 30, whatever, 34, whatever he's getting this year. I'm looking at time, it looks like it's 34. And that's what I want to see from him. I think that's the next step in under Monty's coaching is move Isaiah Stewart to the bench, start Bojan, because it gives us, some floor spacing. I do like him off the bench, though. I was not in favor of this when we started the season, or really even in the offseason, because I don't know. I just think he's so much better as a starter, but he really is a shot creator and a shot maker. Like, you could run everything through him in the second unit, whether he's playing with Killian Hayes, Jaden Ivey, Sasser, Monte Morris when he comes back. You could run the offense through Bojan, and it would give you something in that second unit. But I want to see Cade. I want to see Cade feast. I want to see Cade play in space. So give me Bojan starting all night. Move Isaiah Stewart to the bench. I think that solidifies things. But I'm also with you. I think depending on the matchup and the team they're playing against, we're probably going to get just all these different lineups throughout the season. I think the two constant in the starting lineup are going to be Cade and Duren. But I think any given night it could be some combination of Killian Hayes or Jaden Ivey or both of them, or it could be Killian Hayes and Lasar Thompson and Isaiah Stewart and maybe Bojan. I think it can be any combination of those players because nothing is set in stone with Monty. I just think it's going to be matchup dependent.